Hello Year 11 parents and carers, and welcome to this very brief information overview of what this year will look like for your child. My name is Mr. Bartlett, Associate Assistant Head Teacher and Head of Year 11. During this presentation, I will include some tips as to how you can support your child on their journey through GCSE examinations this year. There will also be a brief overview from the core subjects of English, Maths and Science as to what the GCSE assessments will look like this year. The big difference to consider this year is the return of GCSE formal examinations. These will start early in May and will continue into June. There are some assessments in a window in November and January, and there is a contingency with the WJC and other exam boards for further lockdowns if they were to take place. This is why it's essential that your child is available and in school during these windows. Please note, these are not CDGs and these are not CAGs like the previous 2 years. These are formal, externally assessed GCSEs. After 2 years of disrupted learning, some students may have never sat an exam before, which could lead to them being even more stressed than usual for the GCSEs. Looking after your child's well-being and breaking down any concerns they may have about their assessments is key to their success in the GCSEs and beyond. Here are a few tips from young minds on supporting your child. Work with your child to find what revision style works for them. Encourage your child to take revision breaks and find a balance between studying and doing things they find enjoyable and relaxing. Make sure they're eating and drinking at regular intervals. Encourage them to take some time after revising to wind down. Reassure them. Reinforce that you are and will be proud of them no matter what happens. Remain positive and hopeful. Plan a treat or an activity together to mark the end of the exams. Have something to look forward to. Set aside one-to-one time so that they can talk to you about any worries they may have. Let them know their feelings are valid and normal, but also offer support and solutions where you can. Anxiety is often worse at night, and this means it's useful to encourage a good bedtime routine. Work with them to develop relaxation techniques, and if anxiety and stress start impacting their day-to-day life, seek help from your GP. On a similar note, if you have any further queries regarding this, please don't hesitate to get in touch with relevant members of staff. The first subject we're going to look at during this video is GCSE Mathematics. In Wales we have two GCSE Mathematics qualifications, GCSE Mathematics and GCSE Mathematics Numeracy. Now, GCSE Mathematics Numeracy was sat in Year 10, and fortunately nearly all pupils secured a GCSE grade in between A star to G in summer 2021. There will be an opportunity for pupils to re-enter in summer 2022 if they wish to better their grade. It's worth noting that this year the focus is on GCSE Mathematics. And GCSE Mathematics is critical for those wanting to go on to A-levels in the sciences or engineering. It's a very well-respected qualification. GCSE Mathematics extends to aspects of maths needed for progression to scientific, technical or further mathematical study. The provisional summer dates for GCSE Mathematics are Unit 1 paper, which is the non-calculator paper, on Tuesday the 24th of May. And Unit 2, which is the paper in which a calculator is allowed, Tuesday the 7th of June. Please note that awarding bodies have specified that pupils should remain available until Wednesday the 29th of June, just in case any contingency plans are needed for summer 2022. For the GCSE Maths papers, there are three possible tiers of entry. The grades available on each tier are as follows. Higher tier can access grades A star to C, intermediate tier B grade to E, and foundation tier is D to G. If any pupil falls below the minimum grade boundary for their tier, they will receive a grade U. Tier of entry decisions will be reviewed based on planned assessment performance throughout the year. However, pupils will be aware of their intended tier of entry. Ask your child's teacher during the virtual parents' evening on Thursday the 23rd of September with any questions you may have about your child's tier of entry. Please be aware that in maths, assessments are scheduled every 3 weeks up to Christmas. The dates are on the slide. Following the assessment, pupils receive a personal topic grid to identify areas requiring improvement based on that assessment. Highest performing pupils independently improve these red areas using the MathsWatch video clip numbers provided.
Good evening. I'm Mrs. Pierce and I'm Head of English at Pramau Foundation School. I just wanted to take this time to explain to you the course that your child will be studying in Year 11. In Year 10, your child sat the English Language GCSE and secured that grade in the summer. This year, they will focus on securing their English Literature grade. Now, the English Literature grade is made up of two components. You have the exam, which will take place in May, and that is worth 60% of the overall grade. And then you have the controlled assessment, which is worth 40% of the overall grade. So if I focus on the exam component first, they will need to have read, studied, and revised two texts in preparation for this exam. Firstly, there's a novel by Robert Cormier called Heroes, and a play by J.B. Priestley titled An Inspector Calls. That is a 2-hour examination, and both sections will demand the pupils complete an extract question and an essay question. The controlled assessment is worth 40%, and in class they will write 2 essays on the following areas. So firstly, the first essay is a poetry comparison, and the second essay is focused on a Shakespeare text. It will either be Romeo and Juliet or it will be Macbeth. This next slide details the programme of study for your pupil for the forthcoming academic year, and it details what they will study and when they will study it. Firstly, we start with poetry throughout September and October, and those first 2 weeks back after October half term, we will look to complete their poetry NEA, which is their controlled assessment. We then move to the Romeo and Juliet or Macbeth piece, and they will look to write that early January. January and March, we will spend the time revisiting An Inspector Calls because they've already read that and studied that. And then in March and April, we look at studying Heroes with them. In April, we then put revision plans into place, and in May, they sit their actual examination. Lastly, your son or daughter has already read and studied both of the texts that they will be examined on, Heroes and An Inspector Calls. As you can see from this slide, it's really important that your child continues to revisit these texts throughout this academic year to ensure that they do not lose the key learning that has already taken place. As you can see on screen, there are pictures of study guides. So there's 2 workbooks on An Inspector Calls, and there's a revision guide on Heroes. They are all called York Notes, and they can be found on Amazon or in WH Smith's. They are very reasonable, but they are a very good resource to have. So my final message to the pupils of Year 11 is that it is very, very important that throughout this academic year, that you are going back to these texts, you are rereading them, and once a fortnight you are doing an activity linked to these texts, and that will ensure that your long-term memory and the information that you gained last year is retained in preparation for that exam in May. If you have any questions or queries, please do not hesitate to contact your child's class teacher or contact myself, and we will help you with any further queries you may have. Thank you.
Hi everyone, it's Miss Marasco, just giving you a quick overview of what's going to be happening in science this year for everyone in Year 11. So we have 3 science courses, as you may already know. We've got the triple science course, and in this course this year you will be only required to do Unit 2 of each science. So the Biology Unit 2 exam is on Tuesday 17th of May in the morning, Chemistry is on the 27th of May in the morning, and Physics is Wednesday the 8th of June in the afternoon. Very similar then for double science, you will only do 1 exam for each science, and all of those marks then will be put together to create your double grade, and they are the same dates as the triple award. And then for single science, you're going to do Unit 3, which is a controlled assessment that we will do in class. The window to do that is basically as soon as we come back after Christmas, Monday the 4th of January up until February half term. So we will guide you through all of that in class, and that will be 20%. And then your Unit 2 exam, the only exam you'll have to do, is on Tuesday the 17th of May in the morning. So my advice is to use the electronic revision guides. Your teachers will have put these into Teams for you to use. We've used them last year, they're really good. And the WJEC knowledge organisers, which are quite new, they also should be in your Teams and also on the WJEC website. If you're struggling to find any of these revision resources, or if you maybe need paper copies, then please do speak to your science teachers. If you need to contact me, I've popped my email address there on the screen, marascos6@hubcymru.net. So please get in touch if you need anything. Thank you.
I hope you have found this video of use, and I hope it's provided you with a much better idea of what the assessments will look like this year. In closing, I just want to reinforce how proud I am of the pupils of the year group. The media talks of a lost generation, but I see a resilient, driven and hard-working generation that have already managed to achieve some great GCSE results. In assemblies, we constantly reinforce the school's motto, and now it is more important than ever for pupils to have high aspirations, work hard with a focused application, and ultimately securing the achievement of success. Thank you for watching, and please don't hesitate to get in touch with any questions or queries. And a reminder that our virtual parents' evening for Year 11 is on Thursday the 23rd of September. Diolch.